here. Alrighty, let's begin. I'll invite our chime to sing, and this will be a wonderful way for us to really hear the beautiful sound of the chime as a call to come home to the mind, body, spirit. Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia, and I am privileged to practice with you all today and to facilitate our beautiful, beautiful time together. I'd like to begin our practice by setting our intention today. And I have this wonderful bowl of intention cards that I make. And on each one of them is a sentiment of metta, loving kindness. So this is a little, I really want to be a painter, but this is as good as it gets right here. That's all I do. So this sentiment of metta, this intention for our practice today reads, may you breathe into the tight spaces within you. May you breathe into the tight spaces within you. Let's take a moment to do that together. If you are anything like me, some of the tight spaces in my body are along my neck and shoulders. I seem to carry the weight of the world there. But I also seem to carry it in my belly, and I have a tendency to kind of clench and keep my belly and my gut kind of tight. And so when I do breathing, my focus of mindfulness in my body is at the level of my belly. And I feel it relax very deeply just above my pelvis. And I allow my belly muscles to relax. I allow my belly to extend on an inhalation as I feel my lungs filling up. And once I take a nice deep inhale, I hold my breath for just a few seconds. And then on the exhale, I watch the air leave my nostrils, contract in my lungs, and then I watch my belly muscles engage and my belly gently contract until all my air is released on that exhalation. At the bottom of the breath, I hold my breath for a second or two. And then I relax everything as I inhale. Pause for a moment. Exhale. Pause for a moment. Inhale. Friends, we have Sangha members far and wide for whom breathing is a challenge. So if you find ease with breathing, just offer that ease out into the world, and may those who are struggling to breathe find moments of ease. And then watch your body naturally take an organic rhythm of breath and allow that to sustain your practice. Allow it to be an anchor for you to return to over and over should the mind wander, and it will. It's perfectly normal. And if the breath is not a comfortable anchor for you, say it's not a reliable place for you to return to over and over again, trust your knowing. Trust that you know What is an anchor for you? Maybe it's bringing your hands together. Maybe it's putting a little bit of pressure on your thighs as a touchstone, as a way to return to the body. Should the mind wander, should uncomfortable feelings arise, just touch into the body a little bit. Know that you're safe. Breathe. Allow the mind, the body to relax, soften, open. If you're joining the Spokane Sangha for the first time, on Wednesdays, as I said, we read from a book called Standing at the Edge by Roshi Joan Halifax. The edge in Roshi's impeccable teaching is this arbitrary place. It's a marker, it's a boundary or a border that when we fall over and we go over the edge of some quality or some personality trait or some activity, we fall into consequences of distress, confusion, negativity. On the other hand, if we never allow ourselves to come close to the edge and we stay far away from that edge state, there's also a risk there, a negative consequence there, and that is the consequence of apathy, laziness, complacency, fixed mind. In other words, we don't grow. We're never challenged. We don't test our merit. We don't strengthen. And so the whole practice of working with edge states is getting close to that edge to test ourselves and challenge ourselves and know that we're okay because we're not going over the edge. We're not getting so close that we're going to risk falling over. And we're not staying so far away from it because of fear or anxiety that we're not going to learn something. The journey of recovery is an edge state. We are constantly teetering with abstaining, working with sobriety, and also working with craving, habit energy, unresolved trauma, and so forth. We've been working with a quality, an aspect of the journey of being human that Roshi calls engagement. How do you engage with your life wholeheartedly? That's been what we've been discussing. And the wholehearted approach to life, including recovery, is one's willingness and one's capacity to hold the nature of duality. We are all, each of us, this complex mixture of qualities that are highly positive and qualities that are shadowed and negative. We all do things worthy of praise, and we all do things worthy of blame. One of our habit energies, simply by being human, is we tend to chase praise and avoid blame. This is what the Buddha recognized as the Four Noble Truths. The first being there is suffering and discomfort. What is it? It is that we are constantly seeking pleasure and constantly trying to avoid unpleasantness, suffering. The paradox is that we only really enjoy and feel the wonder and pleasure of life when we can sit with its sister opposite. It takes practice, and that's why we're here. Today, I'm just going to read a very short section from the continuation of engagement as an edge state. But Roshi is intentionally throwing us over the edge. And she is inviting us to examine the ways we burn out. Burnout is a very common human experience, and it appears in many, many different forms, not just in the work environment. We burn out on the journey of recovery. We burn out wanting to go to treatment. We burn out wanting to go to meetings. We burn out wanting to go to therapy. It gets old. It gets tedious. We just want to get back to life, normal, and not have to carry the weight of this thing called sobriety, abstinence, recovery around with us all the time. Yep, that's part of the practice. And so we're being invited here to look at the conditions that create this sensation, this feeling, this thought, these stories of burnout. The more we understand the conditions, the more able we are to prevent them, to meet them, to heal them. Understanding conditions helps us from falling over the edge. When we fall over the edge, it is a treasure trove of learning and teaching and wisdom. So you might be in a situation where you're feeling all uggy and burned out, like, ugh, there I go again. I've just totally burned myself out. Ugh. And just remember, the spiritual sister to ugh is, ooh, what can I learn here? And there's always something. Roshi writes, when our engagement gets off balance and our work seems driven by fear, escapism, or compulsion, we are vulnerable to burnout, the bleak experience of fatigue, pessimism, cynicism, and even physical illness, accompanied by the sense that our work is of little or no benefit to anyone, including ourselves. The sense that our work is of little or no benefit to anyone, including ourselves. Two things I want you to hear today in our practice. One, burnout in the work environment and on the journey of recovery is a normal human experience. If you are aware that this is happening for you, take a moment to smile and congratulate yourself for the awareness. I know hearing that might sound silly, But it is amazing how many people try to function when they are completely burned out. And they wonder why they keep getting sick. They wonder why they're irritable with everyone. They wonder why things are falling apart. They have no awareness of burnout. If you have awareness, you are so ahead of the game. Bravo. Smile. It is a normal part of the human experience. The second thing I want you to be aware of is burnout, how it may appear on the journey of recovery. I gave you a couple of examples already. Maybe you don't feel like going to therapy this week, and you're already working up some excuse in your mind, kind of like a little hustling lie. Maybe you don't want to go to a meeting. You know you'll feel better if you do, but you just don't want to make it. Normal, friends. Perfectly, perfectly normal. Smile at your awareness. Breathe. The number one motivator to get you over the hump is remembering, this is the second thing, remembering that your participation in therapy, in groups, in peer-supported meetings, having conversations with friends about your journey, all of those activities are acts of service because your presence matters and it inspires a whole community. So if you can remember that your participation is not just for your healing alone, it is for the healing of many other people. And these people may have nothing to do with recovery. But when you come to a Recovery Dharma meeting especially, and you learn these mindfulness practices, they change the way you stand in line at a grocery store or at a bank, or talk to somebody in customer service and you feel frustrated, but you hold it together. They change the way we drive on the highway, sit in traffic, puzzle through a difficult problem. All of these things matter and ripple out for the benefit of your family, your friends, your communities. You may be feeling burned out. Be aware of it. Be curious about the conditions driving it. And then remember, your acts of service, your presence to your work and to these meetings heals others. What an amazing gift. Thank you for your generosity. Let's take a couple of moments and just let that sink in. And let it sink in gently and tenderly. May you breathe into the tight spaces within you. May this bring ease, and may your ease the way for others. That's it. And we are going to end our practice today with a dedication of merit. Today we heard so many beautiful reflections on the human experience. We all experience burnout. We all experience difficulty receiving compliments, receiving praise, and receiving blame. We all struggle with remembering that we're not here just for ourselves. We are here for other people. And the healing that we gain here, by extension, is offered to others. We are that powerful. The extension may be subtle, and it might even be slight, but it is nevertheless there. We dedicate this practice to all of our wise friends and teachers out there who are still shackled to the limits of substance misuse and abuse. We dedicate this practice to anyone engaging in habit energy that is no longer serving them, and yet they cannot find a way out. We dedicate this practice to anyone who is trying to survive on the streets, people who are finding themselves in our criminal justice system, which is often a criminal punitive system. We are dedicating this practice to all of our wise friends in various stages of treatment and care. We dedicate this practice to all of our wise friends who have solid footing on their journey of recovery, who keep attending these practices as a way of encouragement, inspiration, wisdom. We dedicate this practice to ourselves for being here, for prioritizing this time, and for participating in such a way that we receive goodness, positive merit. May we bring it into the world for its healing and peace. Thank you so much for your practice, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.